On today's episode of the vlog, we are going to talk about, yes, the realness, the downside of being a landlord. So a lot of people out there, well, I'll start it here. Being a landlord is the greatest thing in the world, if done properly. But you know what? It's a numbers game in the sense that it doesn't matter how great you screen these people, you know, how good your rental agent is, how good your property management company is. So we have an awesome property management team led by Emily, who you're gonna meet a little bit later on this vlog. We do inspections every 3 months on the properties. We gut renovate these things new. Like, we really take care of these people and the properties and make sure that everything is as good and clean and running as well as it possibly can be. But with that said, there's always a certain percentage of people or things that are gonna go bad. So I'm inside a rental right now in Wyandanch. The tenant was here for 3 years. There's a regular cash paying tenant. Never had a problem with these people. We got paid on everything. We did an inspection recently about 3 months ago. Everything, the property was good. Last night at 11:30 at night, I get a text message. We moved out, thank you for everything. Never something that you want to hear at 11:30 at night. So we came down to the property and there's a pile of shit outside, probably $1,500 worth of garbage that I have to pay to get rid of. And the house is kind of trashed. It could always be worse, but they drew on every wall. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, after 3 years, they ripped off cabinet covers. They went through the fridge and broke the trays and snapped the thing that keeps the water and the milk in. A little duct tape, a little electrical tape. They just probably caused about $8,000 to $10,000 worth of damage in a very, very, very short period of time. Nothing's off limits. Crazy shit happens. In this case, it really appears that the kids or somebody that was living in the house took a fork, or in the other room, they took screws and just screwed them into the outlet. So that's why we have this black mark here. So thank God the freaking house didn't burn down, but you never know what can happen. That's why we put, on all the new houses, this is a little bit older one, we put safety outlets, so if something like that happens, it trips up, so it cuts off so you can't have a fire. But you just don't know. So it just goes to show that this is what happens. You can prepare as much as possible, but there's always still a certain percentage of time where things are gonna go bad, and you hedge against that, but ultimately, it's unavoidable. So again, what are the things that you do, the points, to try to avoid something like this? Like we touched on before, but I'll go into a little bit bigger detail. You wanna have great property management. If it's you, great. If it's someone that you hire who's a staff member, great. Make sure they're properly trained, have procedures, have protocols. If it's a property management company, make sure that they have procedures and protocols in place. Make sure that they're properly trained and that you are managing them, to check up on them at least twice a year to make sure that they're doing the right thing and that your properties are maintained for the money that you are spending with them. When we meet tenants, we have a list of house rules. We go into depth and explain to them exactly what is permitted, what's not permitted, contact numbers, you know, PSE&G, NAT grid, things of that nature. Repair people. If there's any kind of issues, these are the numbers that you call, these are the emails you send to, this is how you pay your rent. So there's no miscommunications. We explain it to them thoroughly, we make them sign on the bottom, and we sign and we give them one. We come and do inspections every 3 to 4 months. So 3 to 4 times a year, we are in the property, walking around, on top of rental inspections that we have with the town. We're in here checking every little thing. If something's messed up, we're fixing it. We're not upset about them, because there's a lot of tenants that won't call you for something that's jacked up because they don't want to bother you. But that little leak under the sink that they don't want to bother you about turns into an entire kitchen that you have to rip out and put the new counters in and cabinets because they didn't want to tell you about that little leak. So you have to make sure you're on it all the time. Millie, our rental agent who tenants all of our properties, is absolutely exceptional. But again, people change, things happen in their life. As psychic as she is to know who's not gonna pay their rent, who's gonna pay their rent, things happen. So luckily, this gentleman did leave. He ran out of security deposits, so we were paid in full, but we're left here holding an $8,000 or $10,000 bag of shit. Get him out, whatever. Post it in the comments below. I want to hear your craziest story about what went on with one of your rentals anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. And obviously, if you like what you see, click the subscribe button.